Today we are going to get into one of my favorite topics to talk about, just in general, whether it's online here, on the YouTube, or between friends. And that topic happens to be hypothetical bullshit animal combat situations. And we've talked about this here on this channel before, but this situation is a little bit different. This is being inspired by the Makeshift Project. And so we're going to play a video here. It's a quick one. It's only about a minute long. It's from the aforementioned channel. I saw it on Instagram. A buddy of mine sent it to me in a direct message because this particular buddy of mine, we go back and forth all the time. In fact, I call him a buddy, but I don't even really know the guy that well. This is somebody I encountered online, and he thinks a gorilla would beat a grizzly bear, and I disagree. And we've had this guy, so somehow it fucking wound up to where me and this dude just like go back and forth on these weird DMs with hypothetical animal fight situations. I guess that's enough of description. So anyway, let's take a look at this fucking video real quick. And we'll come back and I'll comment on it.
Choose 2 animals to defend you. The rest are trying to kill you.
This one's a tough choice. Is that a Komodo dragon?
That is 5 Komodo dragons.
Okay. You know what? I need to analyze. I need to actually look at this for a second.
4 bears, 5 Komodo dragons, 3 alligators, 6 ostrich, 1 elephant, 3 tiger, 2 snake, 2 rhino, 8 wolves.
I can tell you what's out. Is the snake, the ostrich, and the Komodo dragon.
Well, I think that the snake is an anaconda, so those are the biggest snakes in the world.
Doesn't matter. There's only 2 of them.
They eat crocodiles.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
I don't think that's true. I'm not believing you until I actually see it. I'd have to take 2 rhinoceri.
Is that the plural pronunciation?
I think that's the plural pronunciation for it. Rhinoceri.
I'm going to tell you my pick after you pick yours.
The 2 rhinoceri, because I don't think you could knock them off their feet.
I don't think it's rhinoceri.
And then the grizzly bears look a little deadly. I'm also looking at the tiger. 8 wolves can't do anything, but the elephant's got the size.
8 wolves can't do anything is a bold take.
I'm going to take 4 grizzly...
8 wolves is a pack, Zach. It's a pack of wolves.
I'm going to take the 3 tigers. It was between the 3 tigers and the 4 bears, but I'm taking the 3 tigers.
I'm taking the 3 tigers, and I'm not taking the rhinoceri because they have no lateral movement. I'm going 3 tigers and 4 bears.
The grizzly bear's deadly animal.
I was thinking the 8 wolves just because they work together.
Okay, so first of all, it certainly is not rhinoceri, although I do like that. That sounds like it would be a good plural for rhinoceros. But no, in reality, it is just like the Christmas song says, rhinoceroses. Yeah, maybe it doesn't sound right, but that is the correct pronunciation for the plural of rhinoceros. And as far as anacondas eating crocodiles, well, they do eat crocodilians. That is a fact. In the Amazon rainforest, they are known to devour caimans. How much of that is the juvenile version of that animal versus the fully grown? I'd have to look into that. But even if it's a fully grown, I mean, the caimans of the Amazon rainforest, it's not like a saltwater croc, right? It's not a Nile crocodile. It's not some big, 20-foot long beast or anything like that. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. Let's kind of take a look. And I'm not going to critique these guys too much. What did they pick? Fucking, I think what did they both pick? Tigers and bears? Ooh, we're just missing lions. Oh my. Well, okay, so first off, I don't know who came up with this list. I don't know if it was these guys or whoever. It doesn't fucking really matter. Let's just run down the list real quick. We got 4 grizzly bears, 5 Komodo dragons, 3 crocodiles. Now that's pretty vague because it does matter. Are we talking about the saltwater croc, Nile croc? There is a distinction that needs to be made. For the sake of this conversation, let's just assume we're talking about a Nile crocodile. I don't know. I'm looking at the image right now. And I don't fucking know. It looks a big ass fucking crocodile, right? 6 ostriches, 1 elephant, 3 tigers, 2 anacondas, 2 rhinos, 8 wolves. All right, now the one guy with the baseball cap who said, like, the wolves ain't going to be able to do anything, he's kind of right. No matter how this scenario shakes down, you're going to pick 2 of these to defend you, and then the rest are going to try to kill you. No matter what, the wolves ain't doing a whole lot. I don't know if I'd say they wouldn't do anything, but they're not going to be doing a whole lot. But they're not alone. So let's break it down. First off, I got to say that if you're not picking the elephant, and by the image, it's an African bull male elephant. This is not an Indian elephant. It's not some pygmy elephant. This is the biggest land animal walking the earth today. So, yeah, if you're not picking the elephant, you don't know shit about the animal kingdom. Because I tell you, let's paint this fucking picture here. The next biggest on the list is the rhino, and they give you 2 of them, and that's fair. 2 rhinos, 1 elephant. That's sort of kind of fair. When you see, and you can go online, you can go to Google, you can go to YouTube, whatever, and you can watch combat between a rhino and an elephant, and it's sad. It's actually really depressing to watch because it is such a fucking mismatch. And those poor rhinos, you look at them like they're this cute little tiny animal. Now, they're the second biggest land animal walking the earth, but they're second by a fucking long shot. It ain't close. An African elephant dwarfs even a rhino. And then to put this into further context, if you've ever seen a rhino, a white rhino specifically, which are larger than their, cousins, the black rhino. The white rhino is the larger of the 2 species. If you ever see that face off with, say, a Cape buffalo, which itself is like a fucking, lion terminator. I think, what do they call them? Do they have the nickname Black Death? Am I wrong about that? I don't know. They're very intimidating beasts. They weigh about 2,000 pounds or so, or somewhere near that. Right? They are a very formidable beast, and rhinos just ragdoll them. That itself is sad. Then to put it into further context, if you've seen like one lion, even the biggest, baddest male lion, 1v1 versus a Cape buffalo, that lion usually, not always, but usually gets fucking stomped and thrown around and ragdoll, right? So that should kind of put things into perspective. Okay, when we're talking about these animals. So again, if you're not picking the elephant, you're I don't want to call you a retard, although you are. You're ignorant. You don't understand. You just clearly don't understand the size difference between an elephant and a rhino, and you clearly don't understand what these animals are each capable of. Like, why are ostriches even in the equation? Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm sure I'll get some flack for this. I don't think I could necessarily, like, if I were walking down the street and an ostrich ran up on me, I don't know what I would do. Like, I think that thing would probably fuck me up pretty bad. I'd be so shocked and, whatever. And I'm not a big guy. I stand about 5'8". I weigh about 160 pounds. I'm not a fighter. I'm not like an athlete or I'm just an average fucking guy. So an ostrich would probably fuck me up. But if I was prepared, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't even, like, if you put me up against one of these fucking animals, ostrich is definitely the easiest one to fight. I'll just wring that fucker's neck, and I think, you don't even have to go to, like, the John Jones territory, right? You don't even have to go the, like, MMA fucking fighter route. Like, an average kind of strong guy, if it came down to it, can probably at least defend himself against an ostrich. They're not that... Yes, they're fast, and yes, they're tall, and yeah, they can kind of hurt you, but they're not... There's no fangs involved here. They're a bird. They're kind of built lightly relative to the rest of the animals. You know, they ain't doing shit. So I don't even know why they're fucking here. Next on the list, 8 wolves. We have to consider the numbers. We got 8 wolves or 2 anacondas. What would I be more afraid of? Well, first of all, only one of the anacondas is going to do jack shit. You can't get eaten by 2 of them, okay? One of them's going to get you. But they can't both get you. That's not how it works. Like with snakes, constrictors, it's redundant, right? Like if you get attacked by an anaconda and then another anaconda shows up, I guess, technically speaking, if some weird ass, like, I don't know, like scenario presented itself, maybe 2 anacondas could simultaneously restrict you, but they certainly can't simultaneously eat you. Wolves can, right? Tigers can. Crocodiles certainly can, right? All the other animals. But the snake, unless it has the element of surprise, I mean, and yes, they can be upwards of 230 pounds or whatever, and they can be 20 feet long, but they got to have the element of surprise. They are 100% an ambush hunter. Now, granted, tigers are as well. Big cats are ambush hunters. So are crocodiles. However, a crocodile or a tiger, maybe they get the drop on you. Maybe, whether you're some fucking chital deer in India and a tiger fucking pounces and misses and you start to run, a tiger can still pursue and have a chance at catching. Like, I feel like the anaconda, if they miss, they ain't doing shit. And they're so low to the ground, they don't have any limbs. Deadly predator, but not a fighter. And I think that's the important distinction to make here, right? Is just because something is an apex predator, which I wouldn't even classify the anaconda as an apex predator. It's close to the top tier, right? But as far as the Amazon forest is concerned, it's the jaguar that is the apex predator. Be that as it may. Just because something is an apex predator does not necessarily mean that it's an apex fighter. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about this weird-ass, impossible, hypothetical scenario in which you can buddy up with 2 of these, and then the rest are going to try to fuck you up. Excuse me. So, ostrich, definitely out. Anaconda, definitely out. Wolves, I don't know. They're definitely out, but would they be out for me? I'm going to put ostriches and anacondas on a similar tier. I don't know. Anacondas are far more deadly. But I'm not worried about either one of them in this scenario at all. Komodo dragons and wolves, I'd be at least a little bit worried. And so you got 5 Komodo dragons. Again, now we're talking about a reptile. We're talking about a cold-blooded animal. And so we've got 3 of these contenders in here. We got the anaconda, the Komodo dragon, and the crocodile. Now here's the thing about these cold-blooded creatures. Their gas tanks ain't shit. They might fight for a minute, but they're gonna overheat very fast, and they're gonna need to take a rest, and there's no time for rest when you're talking about a combat situation where there's 4 grizzly bears, an elephant, 2 rhinos, and 3 tigers involved. Okay, or even 8 wolves. Right? You're in big trouble, and of course, people are gonna talk about the Komodo dragons' venom. They're gonna say, well, all they gotta do is bite you once, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's true. They bite you once. If a Komodo dragon bites a wolf, that wolf eventually is gonna bleed out and die. But that's eventually. That's not immediate, right? Whereas a crocodile gets a wolf, it's going to death roll its fucking limbs off. And that wolf is going to be dead fast. And there's a big difference between, venom versus, straight raw power. So we take ostrich off the list. We take anaconda off the list. And I think the next one to go off of my list is going to be the Komodo dragons, and followed by the wolves. I think 5 Komodo dragons, 8 wolves. Yes, wolves outnumber them, but they're smaller as well. And they're just, and like I said, the guy was kind of right. They're really not going to do shit. The fuck is 8 wolves going to do to 2 rhinoceros? Like, nothing. 8 wolves against 4 bears ain't doing shit. 8 wolves against 3 tigers ain't doing shit. 8 wolves against this. So the wolves are fucking out, all right? They got to be out. So now what are we left with? We're left with the rhinos, the elephant, the tigers, the bears, and the crocodiles. Now, we have to talk about the landscape, because this is something these guys didn't mention. What's the terrain look like? Because if there's no water nearby, if we're removing a lake or a river from the equation, well, then the crocodiles at a major disadvantage. Again, we're talking about primarily an ambush predator. They do not have the steam, and they are not evolved to engage in extended combat on land. Whereas a grizzly bear, for instance, is designed specifically for that. So the crocodiles are the next to go. 3 crocodiles. Fuck them. They're out. I mean, just imagine, like, what, again, unless we're in the water, even if we are in the water, like an African bull elephant could stampede a river and probably smash. We see hippos bully them all the time. Of course, that's a semi-aquatic mammal as well, but you get what I'm saying. So what are we left with? We're left with the bears, the elephant, the rhino, the tiger. I don't know who fucking came up with the numbers here. Now, we see the tiger. Whether it's a Bengal tiger, whether it's a Siberian tiger, it's neither really here nor there. They're comparable in size. People believe, people tend to believe that the Siberian tiger has like some magical powers over the Bengal tiger. But in reality, these days, when you actually look at the average numbers, the Bengal tiger, and this is largely due to poaching and hunting and all this, actually kind of, on average, outsizes the Siberian tiger these days. But nevertheless, I mean, you're talking about a cat, a big cat weighing roughly 400 pounds, give or take. Okay, whether we're talking about the Indian tiger or the Russian tiger, it doesn't fucking matter. It's a 400-pound fucking cat. But we got 3 of them. Now, 3 tigers beat 8 wolves easy. I do not think that 3 tigers beat 2 brown bears, let alone fucking 4. So who came up with those numbers? That's a fucking mismatch. Those 4 bears. Whether we're talking about a fucking inland grizzly in the United States of America, or whether we're talking about a Kamchatkan bear in Eastern Europe, or an Alaskan, a Kodiak bear, no matter what, 4 brown bears, no matter the subspecies, is slaughtering 3 fucking tigers. I don't know who put this together. Again, we talk about ambush versus extended combat. Now, one thing about cats is they're magnificent creatures. And they are, again, going back to the apex predator versus apex fighter. Like a tiger is the ultimate assassin. It is nature's ultimate fucking assassin. They are a majestic beast, highly powerful and just agile, beautiful fucking animal. Lethal and terrifying for any human that happens to walk within their territory. But part of what makes them so lethal, part of what makes them so, it gives them that mystique, is that they're cunning, they're stealthy. You don't even see it until it's fucking 10 feet in front of you, and by that time it's too late, and they jump out, and you're dead. Now that's you, or me, a human. And you'll hear these stories that they do this shit to brown bears, in fact. Oh, they prey on cubs. Yeah, hibernating sows and their cubs. But no matter how badass a fucking tiger is, no matter how cunning they are, no matter how stealthy they can be, they are, even if they do get the drop on a fully grown brown bear, that's going to turn south for them very fucking fast. You know, if you watch a cat hunt, whether it's a leopard, a tiger, a lion, it doesn't matter. It's beautiful to watch. You know, I grew up on National Geographic and PBS, Wild America, all these fucking programs, you know. And watching a big cat hunt, especially in slow motion, and you see their tactics, and you see how just amazing these creatures are. As amazing as all that is, like, dude, a grizzly bear, any fucking bear, they're fucking like living tanks, all right? They're omnivores for the most part. Of course, we're not talking about the polar bears here, but, you know, a brown bear, a grizzly bear. And when we're talking about canids versus felines, just in general, right? Cats, it's like the cat is the athlete. All the fast twitch muscle fibers, they explode, and they're so fucking fast you don't even see it coming, and they get you. And by the time you see them again, it's too late. Versus canids, of which both wolves and bears are members of that family tree. They're not necessarily built for stealth or explosiveness. They're built for endurance and strength, and they just don't stop. And now wolves and bears, of course, are not the same thing. You know, wolves will chase prey down over the course of miles and miles and miles, and they never get tired. And that's just kind of how dog-like creatures, when I say canids, that's what I'm talking about. That's just how they're designed. High endurance. Now, bears are no exception to that. But unlike wolves, bears are fucking massive. Thick layer of fur, thick layer of fat, thick layer of muscle, massive claws, extremely powerful jaws. 3 tigers versus 4 bears, 4 brown bears. It's just fucking, it's a lopsided, complete mismatch. Again, I think 3 tigers versus 2 brown bears is a mismatch. But okay, all right, look, I've yacked long enough about these 2 animals. Easy choice would be the bears over the tigers. So tiger's the next one out. So we have eliminated the anaconda, the ostrich, the wolves, the Komodo dragon, and the crocodile. And now we're eliminating the tiger. So now it's between the elephant, the rhino, and the bears. Now, I just hyped the bears up pretty good. You know, a large, if we're going to the, max degree, even the largest male Kodiak bear in the wild, 1,600 pounds, and that's being generous. They fall short of 2,000 pounds. Now, yeah, Bart the bear that you saw in all the movies, like The Great Outdoors or something, he weighed like 2,000 plus. That's a fucking domesticated bear. Well, I don't want to say domesticated, but you get what I mean. This is a bear that's in captivity, that's being overfed, and he's 2,000 fucking pounds. Okay. But even if, let's go ahead and let's just be generous like that. Let's just say that we have 4 fucking 2,000 pound bears versus 2 white rhinos. And these things weigh upwards of 2 tons? Or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But the fucking hide on these things. Again, even a grizzly bear. If you look at a grizzly bear versus a moose, even the largest brown bear versus a moose, the moose fucking dwarfs it. Now, a Cape buffalo. I don't want to say it'll dwarf a moose. The moose would be taller, but it'll outweigh it. And again, I've seen fucking rhinos just fucking throw Cape buffalo around like they weren't shit. It's like me throwing just bags of trash around the yard. It's nothing. So even 4 of the most badass bears on earth ain't doing shit to 2 pissed off rhinos. And like we talked about before, 2 pissed off rhinos may be able to contend with 1 elephant. But that's a big maybe. And certainly 1v1, there's no fucking competition. So, there's only one correct answer here. Really, when it comes down to it. And that is the African elephant and the white rhinos. The only exception that I could kind of understand would be swapping the rhinos for the bears. That's it. I disagree. I think the rhinos are going to trounce the fucking bears. As tough as bears are, as nasty as they are, rhinos are fucking fast, powerful, vicious fucking animals. Now, they're not as intelligent as the bears. If we're going to factor intelligence into the equation, but it's just like, I think people overvalue intelligence. Really, when it comes to combat, when it comes to the animal kingdom especially, we're not talking about intelligence. We're talking about instinct. This is an argument I always hear when it comes to gorillas versus bears. Oh, well, the gorilla could fucking make a club and use it. But they don't. They don't even do that in real life. Like, you're creating these scenarios, and even if they could, like, a gorilla's smarter. What is it going to do? Use sign language to confuse the fucking bear because they saw Coco do it? Oh, man, they're going to get fucking ripped apart. And I think the bears are going to get ripped apart. They're going to get gored by these fucking rhinos. But I think of all the combatants, that would be the closest one. Like the 4 bears versus 2 rhinos. But again, I'm hopping on the back of that elephant. And I'm daring any other of these fucking creatures to try to get close without getting just stomped into the fucking dust within like the first couple minutes. Even if you get past the rhinos, good luck getting through that elephant. Now, many of us have seen the video of that, guy in India riding on the back of an elephant, and the tiger jumps out of the grass and swats at him and manages to slice his arm open pretty good, but okay. The guy's still alive. Tiger couldn't take him down. He did get scratched, and tiger's claws are sharp. Tigers are big, so the guy had to go get stitches later, but he survived, and he never got taken down from the elephant, and that was an Indian elephant. We're talking about a bull male African elephant. Ain't nothing getting to me. Not the bears, not the crocs, not the wolves, not the tigers, none of them. Elephants and rhinos all day, and if you pick a different team, boy, I'd like to hear your logic. Leave it in the comments below, and I'll see you later.